Diversity is our strength. It's a popular sentiment. It speaks not just about our differences, but the importance of being different. We are all different, but how much different can we be before the difference becomes a liability? It is not for nothing the military and all professional organizations train their adherents into a professional conformity. The law does not assume diversity is a priority. The law applies to all equally. To live by our social norms and standards are the least we expect from each other. The law would not exist if diversity was always a positive. If diversity was the highest of all possible qualities, social norms would be thrown out. Politicians are not given to much introspection, other than when they lose an election, but we ought to be wary of political messaging. Epithets can mislead, even if pithy. Diversity is good when relevant. Not so good when it strikes at the very nature of who we are. In the context of philosophy, diversity is not a first-order principle, because some diversity is harmful and socially destructive. Do you support the breaking of laws and social norms? If not, the desirability of diversity ought to be looked at more closely. Wanting more skilled and capable workers is not the same thing as permitting all and sundry equal access to every place. Diversity is good in the right place at the right time, it is not good on its own terms. Diversity is not the solution to every social problem. Too much diversity or the wrong kind of diversity is as big a problem as homogeneity, and for the same reason. One solution does not fit all problems. Nothing is desirable for its own sake or an end to be prioritized over reasonable concerns. Diversity of skin color is not good or bad but insignificant and immaterial. To turn race into a political issue is demonic. It is theoretically possible for people to be hated because of a racial attribute, no one denies the basic fact. It is also possible to hate people for other factors even if there is racial diversity. But is the crime against a race even when racism is a factor, or against an individual? Why does it matter if you kill a person during a robbery or during a hate crime? If a person does not get a job because they are black, is this the same thing as a person who does not get a job because they lack the qualifications, but is black? How much better must the non-racialized person be than the racialized, for it to be possible to hire the non-racialized person over the racialized? Why ought a business be made to justify their hiring practices to government? It is the market that decides if the choice was a wise business decision or not. If the state dictates the terms of employment, we have fascism, and the market no longer matters. Either the free market works, or it does not. If it does, then the market will penalize businesses that make poor hiring decisions. If the market does not work, why is the state attempting to prop it up? Science cannot eliminate all variables and so cannot establish truth, using the experimental method. Experiments aspire to the most probable explanation by means of experiments in which the variables are known and adjusted for. But as said, there are always variables that were not identified or could not be fully controlled for. Business is an attempt to bring science into the economy. Profit is a way to quantify results. The business owner is put in the shoes of an experimenter. He tries different theories to see which one works, based on the results as measured by profitability. Diversity is an unscientific variable that cannot be isolated or adjusted for. We cannot know if diversity is our strength, because we cannot establish scientifically that the result was due to diversity or a correlated event. Of what possible benefit could it be to a business to have one white sales clerk and one black clerk rather than two black clerks? But if two black clerks work, why not two white ones? The truth is, either adding a black clerk to a white staff makes no difference to performance, and a white person could have been hired without any negative impact on the business, or there is something measurably different about black people that makes them an obvious first choice. Which means there is no need to enforce their hiring. The market will penalize businesses that forego the black preference hiring model. The one thing that cannot be true is that diversity will improve business performance. If diversity is our strength, the platitude is not referencing the economy. Either one race is better than the other, or hiring on race has no impact on bottom line, which makes hiring based on race a political decision. If hiring is based on political agendas, hiring decisions have ceased to be a business-based decision. The question then becomes, why does the government feel a need to interfere in the market, especially if the market does not work? What is their agenda? The first and most obvious question is, why is skin color the feature that dominates the liberal psyche? We do not think diversity of hairstyles or educational levels is important. And politicians certainly do not advocate for equal hiring of those of different political persuasions. If diversity is our strength, why does it not apply to every human characteristic? Ought not diversity be the key factor in every decision we make? Perhaps more could be accomplished by requiring the left political parties to appoint those on the right as often as they appoint those on the left, and vice versa. On what criteria is the slogan, "Diversity Our Strength," based on? The first thing we need question is, what is our strength? What strength is being measured? Is it economic profitability or political power? What group is identified with our? How can our strength refer to the far-right nationalist white person when it is this group the program aims to moderate? Diversity programs target the political right. But that is the problem, the platitude is necessarily hypocritical. In reality, the slogan is a call for homogeneity. It's a call to exclude those on the right. What is being said, by implication, is that nothing matters by political identity. Minorities need to put aside their diversity to come together and identify as non-Christians, to oppose Christianity. This is why the left becomes incensed when a black person breaks ranks and joins conservatives. It is a betrayal of the common identity. Together is a word that for the left means the racialized and other minority communities. Diversity is our strength is a call for minorities to join forces, put aside differences, to defeat Christian whites. It is also a tacit acceptance that liberals do not represent white culture. Diversity is our strength is a demonic message, but it is heard by demonic ears. Diversity is good in the minds of liberals in the sense that anything and everything is acceptable so long as it does not worship Christ. Everything is permissible and desirable so long as it does not give God the glory.